Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Whether it is the key to happiness or the key to success, we have been told the answer is do what you love. You've seen this slogan on billboards and advertisements, on children's t shirts, embedded in everyday life is this idea that you should find what you love to do, make it your work, and that is how you will find long lasting happiness and success. What if I told you, do what you love, this slogan, it's not serving us? That we could be happier and even more successful when we abandon the slogan, unburden ourselves of this calling to do what you love. What does this mean exactly? To find a vocation and calling, to make it work, to go every day hand in hand with our passion, skipping on our way to the office every day. Okay, I'm being a little facetious, but I know for me, I eventually realized this societal, cultural norm that we now hear of do what you love, it doesn't work. I was about 2 years into my legal practice, starting to get the hang of being a junior attorney, and I found myself, even though I had a very successful career right in front of me, feeling like a failure. Because the assignment is do what you love. And at that assignment, I felt like I was failing. I didn't do my work from a place of passion. It would be a stretch to say I loved my job, even if I enjoyed the people and some of the projects. And so I would talk to other young attorneys about this, and so many of them seem to feel the same way, that, oh, maybe one day we'll get to do what we love. Or we would envy the attorney who told the story of how started off as a corporate lawyer, opened a cupcake bakery. And we would say, hey, look, in a couple of years, maybe that's when we'll do what we love too. We'll figure it out. But slowly, as the years ticked on, I realized, gosh, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with putting off my happiness for the future time when I will fulfill this slogan somehow, some way. And I started to really reflect on why I felt discontent and why I didn't feel like my job was enough. And in doing that, I read, I reflected, I journaled, and I realized slowly that there was something wrong with this do what you love mentality. And as I unpacked it and I thought about how every day people go to work across this globe and they wake up and go to work for different reasons, but more than likely to make a living, to provide for their family, to give their kids a better life than what they had, to get to the next day. And all of those reasons were enough. It made me start to question the do what you love pervasive cultural slogan that seems to lack in universality. It doesn't reflect the experience of so many workers. And so as I unpacked it, I myself felt more free. I felt unburdened. I felt happier. I didn't feel like a failure anymore. And in fact, not only was I happier, I became more successful. I saw my job for what it was, and I started to enjoy it more. I started to see my career path forward. And I realized that what I had learned for myself was that do what you love, the mantra, the slogan, the cultural norm, It doesn't work, not for me. And this societal, cultural slogan is so embedded in everything. We see hobbies become hustles and passions become passion projects because we're told if you love something, if you like something, make it into your work, do it for a living. I saw this happen to me with one of my hobbies. I started cooking. And for me, as somebody who used to burn the popcorn every time in the microwave, I was pretty impressed with myself. I started posting some of my meals on a food blog on Instagram, and I'd post some of my experiences dining out. At the time, I lived in Houston, Texas, great city for food. And the whole thing was designed just for fun. But yet, very quickly, I found myself making a little to-do list on ways to promote my blog, to add followers, which products and food would I post. I got questions. Are you going to monetize the blog? Is this your exit from law? Is this your side hustle? And it took me a little while before I saw that the fun of my hobby was being diminished as I made it a to-do. My hobby became a do what you love project, and it became a to-do. So I became very intentional. I said, hey, this is not a hustle, it's a hobby. And I will only work on it when I feel like it. I'll only post when I feel like it. But I had to protect it. I had to say, hey, look, I might love to do this, but just for fun. I recently listened to an episode of The Daily, a New York Times podcast that I listen to almost every day. And they were covering a very interesting moment right now in the United States. We are in the midst of a pandemic, but in a place where we've reopened a lot of industries. The restaurant industry has been inviting workers back for some time and hiring a lot of workers. But they've seen a slowness in people coming right back. There's a few reasons for this, but one is that workers are putting some thought and reflection into what they want to do next, what they want to go back into, in part because it's been 18 months since some folks got laid off. One such person shared his story on the podcast, and what he said was his whole life, from when he can remember, he's always liked cooking. He's gifted in the kitchen and natural. And following the do what you love mantra, he went into the restaurant industry. He worked nights in a kitchen, doing dinner service. There was always a hustle, a busyness to it. And he did this for years, knowing that because he loves to cook, this was his calling. When he got laid off, he went home, and some of the burns on his forearms from being in the kitchen started to heal. There was a pain in his feet that was so consistent, he'd forgotten it was there. And as they released this tension, he noticed for the first time that, wow, I've been standing on my feet night after night, and this feels different. The biggest difference was actually that he started to cook for his family, something that he didn't get to do all these years working nights. And he loved cooking. He enjoyed making new recipes, cooking things completely from scratch. And he actually felt that love in a way he had not felt in a long time. And so after getting time to reflect on this in light of being home and let go from work, he realized, and he shares on this podcast, he says, if you love something, don't do it for work. Make it your hobby. Keep it for you. Make it just for fun. And it got me thinking, isn't that exactly what we should be doing when we hear do what you love? Shouldn't we be finding what we love throughout our life, carving out a little bit of time for it and protecting it? Doing it for me, doing it for you, doing it just for fun. That gentleman did go back to work as a US postal worker, and now he is home in the evenings and he gets to cook dinner. And now more than ever, I think he is living out that slogan, do what you love. And for me, now when I find myself at a networking event and somebody says with a twinkle in their eye, oh, I just love my job, I don't feel a huge sense of loss inside. I don't feel like a failure. I feel like I have come to a place that I understand do what you love is so pervasive in our culture, but it's not serving me. And if you are somebody who is an artist or an entrepreneur and you do what you love every day, credit goes to you. But most of us are somewhere else on this spectrum when we go to work every day, and we might like our jobs and our coworkers. We might like some of the projects we work on. But I'm a lot happier when I take love out of the equation. And when I do what I love, just for fun. So when someone asks me, hey, do you do what you love? I can now say with a lot of confidence, the answer is yes. I love to travel and I do it when I can. I love to spend time with my family. I love to eat a good meal. I love to read a book in the quiet of my home. So yeah, I do what I love. And you can do it just for fun. And maybe you'll love it even more.